What is going on, everybody? So today we're going to take a look at some One Piece auctions that have ended on eBay, also some buy it nows that have ended worldwide over the past week. We have some sealed product, we have some cards to go over. Let's get right into it. We'll start off with sealed as always. Some Romance Dawn booster boxes have been selling $1,500 or best offer. I'm not exactly sure what it went for. Some of you guys use 130 points, so if you're curious about any of these or you know exactly how much they did go for, feel free to leave a comment down below. $1,500 there. We had one go for $1,600 or best offer and one $1,350. I'm actually contemplating in the spreadsheet changing how I view the booster boxes, and I may do it similarly to what I do for Sun and Moon era and XY era, where I count all the sales, not just from buy it nows, but also auctions, and then do an average sale price and kind of just track the average sale price week to week. We do have TCG Player though, and that's kind of why I'm conflicted, just because I guess I could track both in theory. I just don't know how useful it would be. But it is something I am considering because some of these boxes, you see a lot of auctions, but not a ton of buy it nows. Some cases of OP09 have been selling though. This one sold for $2,000 or best offer. That was May 30th. And then the same day, May 30th, $2,050 or best offer. OP09 prices are in fact coming down. In some cases are selling a bit cheaper than they should be. We had a case of OP11 sell. As you guys know, some people are already getting their hands on this. And some of those top cards, the Luffy's, which we'll take a look at here in a bit, they're very expensive and people are enjoying the set. It seems like, at least from what I'm seeing, the pull rates aren't terrible, but people are still asking an arm and a leg for some of these top cards in Facebook groups. We haven't really seen anything on eBay for the gold, at least, which again, we'll talk about that in a second. We will start looking at some slabs here though. We had a BGS 10 pristine, non-black label chopper. This is from EB01, not the PRB01 reprint. This sold for $1,015, and that ended June 1st, a couple days ago, through Probstein. We had a Nami BGS 10 black label. This sold for $1,500 on auction through PSA. It's at the vault. Then we had this. This is actually a very interesting card. This is the alternate art leader, parallel leader, Zoro from OP01, Japanese, and it's signed by Kazuya Nakai, who I believe is the voice actor. I know I'm butchering their name, but I believe they are the voice actor for Roronoa Zoro in the anime, so that's very cool there. And that went, I believe, best offer was taken, but somewhere around $5,000-ish USD. Next up, we'll get into the Gold Rogers. We had a couple sell this week. This is a BGS 9.5, and this sold on auction for $2,585 USD. And that was from a very small seller, actually, 12 feedback. And I'm not sure exactly where this was. I believe probably somewhere in Europe. Looks like Spain. So there you go. Always good to point that out. We had a BGS 10 non-black label Gold Roger. This is the Japanese version. This sold for $3,373 through SCC consignments, and that ended May 29th. This is the manga rare from OP09. This sold PSA 10 for $1,200. I think we saw a couple of these last week in that $1,250-ish range, so this seems a little bit lower, but that's not a huge difference for an auction around $1,200. This came from PSA on May 30th. Next up, we have an OP05 Luffy, but this is the reprint in PRB01. PSA 10 sold for $2,125, and this is through a pretty small seller as well, only 333 feedback, so not through like a big auction house. Then we had a OP05 one, not the PRB01 remake. This sold for $3,099 USD on bid, and this was sold through Slab Sharks up here in Canada. We did also have another copy of that card sell, $3,400 or best offer. So if someone wants to go into 130 point, leave a comment how much this actually went for. I would be curious to know, but this card is continuing to creep up over time. Next up, we had a alternate art Luffy from OP05. This is the Ichiro Oda stamped one, and this sold for $3,000 or best offer. We've seen auctions going for around $1,800, I believe, $2,000. So I imagine this probably went a little bit lower than that. But again, something to check if you're curious. Next up, we had a raw copy of the EB02 Luffy card, sell for $1,250 or best offer. A lot less of these selling this week, unless they're all selling below $1,000. Again, I was only filtering by cards above $1,000. I might start doing like a second video during the weekend or something like that, every week, focusing on lower tier cards, something in like the 100 to 500 range, something like that. If you guys would be interested, let me know in the comments down below. Next up, we had a Gear 4 Luffy. I believe this is the one from OP11. Very new card, sold for 1600 US or best offer. New listing ended May 31st there from a brand new store. And now we get into the really interesting cards from OP11. Again, I haven't seen any gold sell on eBay, at least not in English, but there are a lot listed, which we'll get to in a second. But right here, this is a silver one. This sold for $1,075 or best offer. We had another one sell $1,500. I don't think there was a best offer on this. I'm pretty sure it just sold straight up for $1,500. Again, from a very new seller. Really bad photos, guys. Like, if you want to get the maximum out of what you're selling on eBay, you need to take good photos. Like, there's glare here. It's a weird background. Looks like it's on like a playmat or a sheet or something. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, just not a great presentation in terms of selling the card. I do always point that out just because I think it's important, especially if you are investing or collecting One Piece and you are planning to eventually sell your cards or your sealed product, you need to understand how to actually offload it. So that's always just a pet peeve of mine. Next up, again, bad photos. This is a silver copy. This sold for $3,246 approximately. But I think I did see this one in 130 point, sold for 3,800 Australian or 4,800 Australian. I can't remember exactly which one it was. You guys let me know again. But either way, very expensive. And it is going to be interesting to see what happens here with OP11. The booster box is still holding around $157-ish. You have some sales even above 160, but most of them are right here at 157. It seems like there's a couple sellers just offloading their boxes. A decent price for it though, out the gate. I do think based on the cards inside, that is reasonable. We have a lot of these cards, and I'm very excited to see what happens at official release, which I think is what, June 6th, June 7th. So we will see probably next week early on what's happening with some of these cards. I'm personally not the biggest fan of this set. I'm not a huge fan of Bandai having to go back and recycle old cards and just, throw a new background on them, whether it's silver, gold. I understand they're going to be expensive, but I do think it is an issue if Bandai at this point, when we're already on OP11, OP12's coming out, we're already seeing some cards for that. If they're already recycling a lot of their artworks and their special cards, I think that is an issue that is going to arise in the future. I mean, if I'm already viewing it as an issue, I can't imagine what some genuine collectors that enjoy the cards or play the TCG are thinking. And when we get to like OP20 or OP30 a couple years from now, it's probably going to be very boring if Bandai has to continue to do that and they can't come up with new, genuine, unique artworks that are based on the anime or the manga. Either way, if you come to eBay, you can see that there are some gold English copies up for sale. $4,750, $4,800. This is a Japanese version right here. This one's on auction. Starting bid would be $3,250 approximately USD, but they want around $6,000. These guys want $4,800. I don't think they're going to get 4,800. They might, but I would imagine it would have already sold by now if someone was actually willing to pay that. So maybe this card comes out around $3,000. Maybe it's higher than that. Maybe it's lower than that. Probably won't matter that much. But that's going to be all for this video. You guys let me know in the comments down below where you think the gold Luffy is going to end up on release day and in the coming weeks after that. Is it going to be $3,000, $4,000, maybe even lower than that, $2,000 out the gate? If you guys are planning to rip some boxes, good luck. I hope you get your chase cards. Tomorrow, we will be doing a booster box spreadsheet update, so if you're in there, definitely check that out. And I am considering changing it. So you guys let me know, as always, what you think. Should I add in an average sale price for all the boxes? It would be more work on my end, but I am willing to do it if people think it would be worth looking at. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.